Hey everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Mindy Banks. I'm the Flip Flop Chef. Today I want to show you how to make charcuterie to go. We're going to feature Pampered Chef's rectangle cool and serve tray, but you can use any platter, board, or plate that you want. Specifically today, I want to show you how to make a charcuterie board that you can take with you, whether you're going out to the pool, the beach, the boat, lake, or RV, or wherever you might be going. So let's go ahead and get started. I want to tell you all of the things that we're going to use to make our board, and then I'm going to show you how to make it step by step. So when you're getting ready for your boards, you want to make sure that you have a few different types of ingredients so that you can make your board full of variety. So I have 3 kinds of cheese. I'm going to be using a creamy Havarti cheese. I have a sharp cheddar, and I have a Colby Jack. So I'm going to be serving this for myself and my kids, and so I want to have some kid-friendly cheeses on there as well. I really like using brie and manchego cheese, so those are a couple other things that I like to do. You can even use goat cheese and roll it in some of our rubs or seasonings from Pampered Chef. The possibilities are endless. Pick the cheeses that you like and go with it. You're going to need a couple of different fruits. So I have fresh and dried fruit. So I have some fresh strawberries, I have fresh grapes, I have dried figs, and I have these sweetened dried orange slices. These are from Trader Joe's, and the figs are also from Trader Joe's. Excuse me, you're going to want to have a couple of different kinds of nuts, and so I have some sugared pecans that I made in the air fryer. You can see how to do this in another video that I have. And you have some pistachios are another great choice. You can do almonds, plain pecans, peanuts, whatever you like. Whatever nut you like is what you want to use. So you want to put things on there that you're going to eat. I will say just about every charcuterie board is different than the last, so don't worry if it looks exactly like mine. Just make it the way that it looks good to you. You need some chocolates. You need something sweet. So I have some Twix bars, and I have some of these blueberry acai dark chocolate. I really like these. There aren't very many left in the bag, so I wanted to have a little bit more chocolate to add to that. And we're going to add a couple of meats, 2 to 3 different meats. And so I have some uncured pepperoni, and I have some hard salami. Those are 2 that my kids and I will both eat, and so you want to have a couple of different meat options. Then you want to have a couple of jellies. So I have this champagne raspberry preserve. So this is a store-bought. And I also have some peach jelly that I made in Pampered Chef's Deluxe Cooking Blender. Of course, that's a video that you can find on my channel as well. If this is the first time you're watching, I hope you'll subscribe while you're here today. And of course, leave your comments and questions, and I'll be happy to answer those for you. So let's go ahead and get started. A couple other things that you need. A couple of tools that you're going to want. You're going to want a good cheese knife and a paring knife, and both of those are from Pampered Chef. And then I have a couple of things that are really great if you're eating this on the go. So I have these little toothpicks. They're long size. You're going to need something similar to this, whether you're serving it on the go or in your house. And then I have these cute little wooden spoons and a knife so that we have that to go. This is the rectangle cool and serve. So let's go ahead and start building our board. So this has a nice lid on it, and then you have an inner insert. So this is actually where we're going to put all of our food. It's going to go in this tray, and you'll see that the cooling mats in here are nice and cold. I took these out of the freezer a little while ago, but these go in the freezer till you're ready to use them. Take them out, place them inside of your tray, and whatever you put in your tray is going to stay cold for 4 to 6 hours. I love this because you can actually make the board ahead of time, leave the freezer mats in the freezer, and then when you're ready to serve this, take this out of the fridge. So take your prepared board out of the fridge, take this piece out, add your freezer mats, and then you're ready to go. So what you want to do first is you want to get like your focal point. So you want to have some of your bigger things on the board first, and then you're going to kind of fill in the gaps. So we're going to start with some grapes. And you can always put these in the middle, you can put them on the edge, it's totally up to you. I realized I didn't have my scissors. Let me grab those really quick, because I'm going to cut these into some smaller pieces. So let's see if I can get that in there. We're going to put a couple little piles of grapes. And I'm going to keep some of these out because I'm going to fill in the gaps a little bit later. So I'm going to do the corners first, and then we're going to add our condiment cups. So that's another thing that I have out that I don't think I mentioned, but since this is on a to-go board, I have these little plastic condiment cups. You can get these on Amazon or a restaurant supply store, and I have the lids. So you want to kind of put them where you think you're gonna want them. So I tend to wanna kind of put them on the sides like this. And then we're gonna go ahead and fill those. I'm gonna use some of the peach jelly in one. So I'm just gonna take one of our stainless scoops and scoop some jelly in there. I'm gonna put a little bit more. I really love having the jelly. I like to do a cracker with a piece of salami, a piece of Havarti, and some of the jelly. And by the way, I didn't mention this, but you're gonna have your chips on the side. I like these sea salt pitas, and I also like using wheat thins. So those are the two chips that I'm gonna have to go along with mine. We'll put the lid on this one. And then I like to do one jelly on each side and then one nut on each side. So we're gonna do the champagne raspberry preserves next. Use another scoop, scoop these up, fill this condiment cup. This champagne raspberry preserve is so good. Usually I always use homemade, but this is Robert Rothschild's champagne raspberry preserves. You might be able to get this on Amazon. I actually won this at an event, so I actually couldn't tell you where to buy it, but Google it and I bet you'll be able to find out. All right, we're gonna take some of our sugared pecans. Just gonna scoop out some to put in here. If you want, you can use larger condiment cups. I'm the only one that's gonna be using the pistachios and the walnut, the pecans, and even these jellies. So my kids will grab the cheese, the fruit, and Christian will eat some of the meat. Connor won't even eat that. All right, and put your lids on them. So we've got our grapes, we have our nuts, we have our jellies, and then we're gonna start adding some of the cheeses and some of the strawberries. So a lot of times when I make these boards, I put things in one place, but then by the time we're done, I have rearranged them a little bit, so don't let it stress you out if you need to move things around. Hopefully it won't stress you out by me moving them around. But let's get some of the cheese ready. I'm gonna set the board aside, and let's take our Havarti. And this is a new cheese knife from Pampered Chef. It's pretty cool. So I'm just gonna slice these into kind of thicker slices. Again, this is how I like them. So when you make your boards, you can cut them however way you like. I just realized my crinkle cutter is in the dishwasher, so I'm actually gonna grab that in a second, and we're gonna use it on the other bricks of cheese because I love that look. Let's see if I can get 3 slices out of this. Let's see, yep, just barely. Okay, I'll move a few things around, bring my board over. And if you wanted to, another thing you can do is you can actually cut these pieces into smaller pieces. So that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna stack them in the board. Let me cut these in half too. And I'll show you some other fun things you can do with this cheese knife in just a few minutes. So we're gonna cut these into these little cubes. I'm gonna cut this one, it's a little thick. Let's see if I can get 2 slices out of that one. All right. And don't be afraid to pile this high. I actually love using this rectangle cool and serve because it has a sort of a domed lid, and so you'll be able to add that height and not smush it. And we have other cool and serve trays that you could use. I have videos on my channel. One of them features every cool and serve. And see, I'm not sure if I'll leave all that cheese there, but we're gonna start with it there and see what happens. I'm gonna rinse off this knife because I wanna show you a couple other things. All right, so for a charcuterie on the go, you can take this knife with you. Just make sure it comes home with you. But I love this because it has the little fork edge there, so you could use it for serving. And then another thing that you can do, if you put this piece back on, so this is a cover, you can use this like a cheese plane, and you just press away, and you can get these super thin pieces of cheese. I don't need them that thin for the board, so I'm not gonna do a bunch of those, but I'll show you again. You just push away. The reason that you want to put this back on there is because this is a blade, and if you put your thumb there, then you're going to cut yourself. So it has two purposes. So this is the cheese knife. Let me grab my crinkle cutter. Rinse that off since the cycle wasn't quite finished. And we'll use this one for the other cheese. So let's see. Slide this out of the way. And so we have our brick of sharp cheddar, and I also have a brick of Colby. So a couple of things you can do. You can slice this just like we did the Havarti. Oops, I cut that slice. And it's gonna just give this a fun edge. Another thing that I like to do is to cut these into cubes. So I think what I'll do is I'll cut this one in these slices, and I'm gonna just start arranging them on the board. I'm gonna stick these little thin slices in there. Like I said, my boards tend to change. They evolve as we go. All right. And you're just gonna build and build and build. So what I'm gonna do now is I wanna cut this one into like cubes. So you know you can buy your cheese cubes in a bag at the store. This is way cheaper to do it this way. Let's see. And I love using the crinkle cutter because it's just such a pretty way to cut it. All right, and I'm gonna put these, I'm still trying to decide where I wanna put these. I think I'm gonna, let's see, I'm gonna put some on this side. Every board that I've ever made is different from the ones I have made before. So I just kind of figure it out as I go. If you have the right pieces, that's all that matters. All right, let's add some more grapes. So add a few more in the middle. I feel like we need, here, maybe on the side. I don't want it to be like identical all around. So I think what we'll do is we'll add some of this Havarti cheese in the middle. See, I told you I change things as we go. And then we can put some of the other cheese here, just to kind of fill in the colors. So I like to kind of balance it all out so you don't have all of the same colors on one side. So we'll cut these into cubes like we did the others. All right. And then once you kind of have all of this in, then you can kind of build up and you can make things higher, and you can add your dried fruits. Oh, we forgot the meat. I was looking at this thinking, what did we forget? So see, I knew I was forgetting something. So we will change some of this around. All right, I'm gonna set this right here. I kept looking at that like, what am I missing? And it was the pepperoni and the salami. So let's take 2 of these sticks, and I'm gonna show you a couple of fun things that you can do. I forgot to open this package before we started. All right, so you can thread your pepperoni. I like to just get a few of them in my hands and then poke them on. So I'm just stacking them. Let me show you. So I'm gonna fold them in half, stack them like this, and you can thread them and then kind of spin them around so that they don't look exactly the same. You can make it look really fun. Oops, let's see. And I like to pack them on there. So the more you have on there, the prettier it's gonna look actually. So let's do a few more of these, then we'll do some salami. And I'm gonna fill these in and fill in the gaps because I totally was missing that. You guys do this, right? Like you have something right in front of you and then you're like, wait, what did I'm not even remembering. All right, and see I'm just kind of fanning it out. So I'm gonna do a few more. Fold them in half, whoops. Stack them. Okay, and then let's do some salami. And what I'm gonna do here, I'm actually gonna take out these grapes on this side here. And we're gonna put our pepperoni stick right here. See, already that looks so much better. I was looking at it like, what am I forgetting? And it was right in front of my face. Okay, then we will put some salami in there too. And for the salami, we're gonna do something a little bit different. Move some more of this cheese around here. We're gonna do what they call Salami River. I'll show you how to do this. So we're gonna take this, fold it in half, and then fold it in half again. Do this and just keep holding it in your hand. Whoops, my hands are getting slippery. And we won't use the toothpick for this. I'm just getting it all together. And then we'll put it in the board. So you kind of have to use all of your fingers. All right. And then we're gonna just put this in here and then just sort of fan that out. And let's do another pepperoni stick. Let's see. So with the charcuterie board, it's definitely going to be a lot of repetitive motion. The fun part is when it all starts coming together and you can just add and add and add and add and fill in the gaps, and everything just looks amazing when you're finished. It's a really thin piece. We'll leave that one out. All right. Let's see if I can get all those in. All right, get a few more out of here. And then we still have the dried fruit, the chocolate, and we have to add some strawberries, some fresh strawberries, because I think every charcuterie board should have strawberries. They taste great, but they're so pretty. Almost done. Stick this on there, and stick this on there. And then I'm just gonna sort of spin this around, fan it out a little bit. And then now we have 2 of those pepperoni sticks. Let me wash my hands. Got a little greasy. Okay, and let's finish this up. So we're gonna build up. Remember how I said you can add more to add that height? So we're just gonna stack more of the grapes on top of the grapes that we already have. Whoops. And we're gonna stack more cheese, and you can even put some of the cheeses together. Doesn't all have to be the same. You wanna try to keep your condiment cups where you can still get to them. Let me show you what to do with some of these dried figs. So for the dried figs, what you're gonna wanna do is kind of smush them, flatten them out. Just use your thumb. Let me zoom in a little bit more for this, and see how I'm just kind of pinching them flat. Turn it over on its side and use a paring knife. Make sure it's similar to the Pampered Chef one. If you don't have a Pampered Chef one, this is a really thin blade. It is, look how pretty. And then you can just sort of add these. I'm going to do 2 figs. Let's see. And bring this around so you can see. And then for the strawberries, I'm going to cut them like this. So I'm leaving the stem on, so I just cut it in half. And then we're going to add some of these on top of the grapes. There we go. Let's see, put a couple in here. All right. And then let's add some of our dried orange slices. So again, these are from Trader Joe's. And this, you could leave them whole if you want, but I actually like cutting some of them in half. Dry my knife. Okay, so again, I'm gonna take the paring knife and I'm gonna cut these, and you can eat the rind and all, so it's really, really cool. I'll do a couple of these. There we go. And then for the chocolate, you have to have chocolate. And I think if I had more salami, I would actually do a little bit more on the top here, just so I could build this up a little bit higher, since we have such a deep container that we're working with. But we're gonna take some Twix bars, and I'm gonna cut them in half. So this is a traditional paring knife. So you can either leave them wrapped if you like. I'm gonna unwrap them, if I can get them unwrapped. Okay, so we'll do a couple of these. I think we'll do 3, and then we'll see if we need more. Gracious. That one does not want to come out. Well, my goodness. I must not be meant to eat that Twix bar. All right, I'm gonna cut it in half, and that just exposes the wafer on the inside, and so it just looks a little bit different than just sticking a candy bar on there. And you can add these on top of the fruit. That would be my suggestion. Add those around, and then we can take these dark chocolate acai balls. Like I said, there weren't very many in here, so we're just gonna sort of stick them around as a garnish, and I will enjoy eating those. All right, and then when you're done with making sure you have everything in the board, then you can kind of look and decide, what else do I want to do? So if I had more salami, which I'll probably grab another pack, I would put more salami in here, and then this is just ready to go. And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your travel or your disposable silverware. So these are just little wooden spoons. So you've got a spoon for each of the jellies, and then you have a knife if you need to cut any of those cheese pieces. We're gonna put the lid on here, and this is our charcuterie to go. So I'm just making a quick look around to make sure I didn't miss anything, but I love charcuterie, and I love taking it to go, especially to the beach or to the pool. So I hope that you're inspired to make your own charcuterie boards, whether it's something you're gonna serve in your house or on the go. Please let me know if you have any questions, and if you haven't already joined my recipe community, you can find it at theflipflopchef.com, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.